Om Anyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Gurudev, everyone. Good afternoon. We have a Divya Prabandham satsang, and today we have part of the first southern Pashurams of the Divya Prabandham. It's called Nalaira Divya Prabandham, this first part. And this verse is the 449, or Pashuram 449, from Peri Alvar. There on, if I'm correct, is the one on the elephant, and Tirumasi Alvar. Basically, in this section is poems where they're asking the deceased to go away from themselves and the Lord to protect them. So all of this set of verses, around 12 verses, are speaking about this. And this is the 449, and it says, I was attracted, slipped, and fell into the small cave that is called a woman's breast. I plunged into it and could not get out. My dear Lord, colored like the shining ocean, removed my bad karma and saved me from my troubles. My body is not the same as it was. God is in it now, and He protects me. So this verse is basically speaking about when we fall into the desires. And we know in the chapter 15 of the Gita how desires bind us or attach us to this reality, to incarnate over and over again. And Krishna says that a part of him becomes the embodied soul and then goes from body to body, and it takes within the senses and the mind. That is considered the sixth sense. And so when this attachment happens, the embodied soul comes over and over again, and you can imagine leaving the body and saying, okay, now it's done, finally. And you're suddenly attracted again, as it says in the verse. And you go into another womb of a mother. And you're there inside saying, no, again. The same story in a different form. And I remember, my mother is here to testify. When I was born, I'm famous because I was with a very angry face. Like upset with something or someone. But I came out like this, just like with complaining face. And didn't get better. Actually, I got known as like the boy with the angry face. I was just, I don't know, upset about something that I didn't remember. And I can imagine now, like with this little knowledge that, you are saying like, yes, I'm free. And no, you still have attachments. You still have desires that you didn't fulfill. And you back in a new womb, new mother, new father, and then angry face. But you don't even know why, The worst thing is like you don't know why. You're just, something inside of you is not comfortable with being again in this reality. And you don't even know. So I remember all my birthdays, you can ask, was always a drama. Was the worst day in the year. There was always something that makes the day some miserable day, one more miserable day of my existence. So I mean, I was a happy person, everything, but this hint shows that was something inside of me that was unsatisfied with existence. And as I say, it's the worst the worth is that you don't even know why. No. And Guruji says that when the mind gets tired of the experiences that the world offers, then it turns into spirituality, into God, into the spiritual path. He says that it's that moment when the person starts really searching, what is wrong with me? Why I feel unfulfilled? And also in the Gita, it says that, this comes later. So at this point of insatisfaction is the moment that, at least in my case, I met this person, no? Swami Vishwananda, Paramahamsa Vishwananda, in a moment that I say, what is the life about? Having tried many things, the pleasures of the world, but still not satisfied. And in that exactly moment is when my guru appears. And he gives the knowledge that he gave already to all of us of the Gita, with other knowledge. Bhagavatam, his own satsangs, but in the end the message is the same. An eternal being inside of you goes from body to body, experiencing life, and at some point that being needs to be free. And kind of, are you willing to make that last shot, or you want to come back again? I think that's what we all face sooner or later when we meet Guruji. And in the Gita it says clearly, 15.4, one should then seek that realm which once attained, one never comes back again from. There he should surrender to the Supreme Lord from where this whole process emanates. And you remember in the Gita, Krishna says, from me emanates all the beings, the material creation, the embodied souls. So another verse, very representative of this, how the attachment works, and how the spiritual path, or what the spiritual path is about, is chapter 5:21, because basically says that at the beginning of the process, the first thing that you need to do is to detach from the material pleasure. And then you will experience happiness. And once you detach from the material pleasure and you experience happiness, then you attach to God, and then you experience bliss. So we are, I believe, in some point of this process, trying to detach from the material pleasure, or already detached and experiencing happiness, and trying to attach to God and experience bliss. And what happens when this attachment to God happens? As Guruji says, or Krishna, you become his, and he becomes yours. And this is what the Alvars is speaking in the second part of the verse. When he's in distress, he has been attached to this material reality. He incarnates again. And then at some point, the Lord comes into his life. He says, my dear Lord, color like the shining ocean, removed my bad karma and saved me from my troubles. My body is not the same as it was. God is in it now, and he protects me. Many times Guruji have said, how much he is in us. And I think we all experience in different forms his protection and how he's carrying us through life. Even if we don't know where we're going, certainly, we see his hand guiding us. We see how he's protecting and taking care. And in this, I think I can see it more and more. I don't know if, because maybe Guruji is more obvious, or life become more obvious, how is his hand next to us in every step. But for example, recently we went with Jagadish in Mauritius a few months, and the last day we went to the airport and we are doing the check-in, and for some reason the tickets that we needed to change at some point in the trip, they were without luggage. Like was just cabin luggage, like the small one. And we come there, like 3 of us, with this 25, 27 or 29 kilogram suitcase. And the Mataji in the desk says, sorry, your ticket is only hand luggage. And we are there like, oh, man, what do we do now? Even actually Guruji purchased a ticket. And you need to pay a lot of money, and then we didn't have much money anymore. And we are there just like deciding what to do. And for some reason, the Mataji who is doing the check-in changed her mind and says like, it's okay. And the three of us, we don't ask questions. We say, okay, it's okay, and leave the 3 huge suitcases and walk away. Yeah. And immediately we say, thank you, Guruji. To whom? I mean, these things don't happen. I mean, we got used to this, and it's funny, but actually this doesn't happen. Normally you pay. You need to discuss first, you get angry, drama, and then in the end you pay. Because it's a standard, everybody follows it. It's not like people decide on the desk what they do. Then another sweet moment, because you say, okay, then the Lord is protecting his bhaktas. But who are his bhaktas? No? And I will dare to say that all who comes to him is someone that he already is choosing to see. It's not an official devotee initiation. It's whoever comes to him feels an attraction, and whoever is attracted to the Lord is in a potential bhakta. So this is a sweet story from a darshan in Mauritius. One guy from there, he was following Shirdi Sai and Satya Sai, and then he got far away from spirituality for a while, or he was just trying to find his own way. And then Guruji started appearing in his dreams. He haven't met Guruji yet, but this guy came in his dreams. He just remembered Guruji without knowing Guruji. Shortly after, he saw a big billboard on the highways, and he said, oh, that's the guy from my dreams. And he says, Darshan, okay. So he searched. By almost the end of the stay of Guruji, comes to meet him. And this story is for another time, but basically the dream that he got with sitting next to Guruji and Guruji telling him things becomes exactly the same. After Darshan, Guruji invites him, they sit, and they end up talking about Pandurenga. But at the same time, after this episode, he invited Guruji for giving Darshan in his house. So was about a lot of people from the place, among them his mother-in-law. And his mother-in-law, according to him, is very known to know the story of everyone around in the whole neighborhood. And she was very, very suspicious about this man who came and is looking at people. They call him Guruji. So she said that she will not take darshan. And with her face, like a scanner, she sit on the back and stare at Guruji the whole time. Just looking what this guy is doing. So the next day, this now devotee spoke with his mother-in-law, and she was crying and actually surprised. And he says, what happened? And she revealed that, she said, this man is God. And he started laughing and said, but what do you mean? You didn't even receive darshan. And she says, I tell you something. You know that I know the story of all the people who came today. And what surprised me the most is that those people, that they have real problems, health, family death, problems, like real, like you said, this is a problem, something out of your control. He talked with all of those people. Guruji talked with around 20 people in the night, all of the people that actually had problems. And to all of them, he gave them like this 1 minute approach, an advice, something to do. And it's not that they speak with him. No, Guruji called them to speak. We don't speak with Guruji anymore in darshan, except he calls you. So she could see the protection of Guruji in all of these random people who met him for the first time. Another one. I mean, I have a few from Mauritius. I wanted today to actually share some stories. That was the excuse of the day of the satsang. And with the days, we will share more. And the last one for today. One Mataji, also non-devotee, came one day to the mandir. I heard that she wanted to speak with Guruji at some point during the celebration. I think was Akanda Ramayana or Hanuman Jayanti. So Guruji is inside of the house, and with no reason, stand up, goes out, goes to the door, and he starts yelling to the people a few meters away and says, "Tell her to come." Like Guruji was inside of the house for at least half an hour. And the moment he stand up, actually was when this person was leaving. And he could not see, it's not that everything is closed inside. So he goes out, he tells them, "Tell her to come." And Guruji wait for her in the entrance of the house. The Mataji runs, she comes, and she's looking at Guruji, and Guruji asks her, "What's your name?" And she's there, but it feels like she's not really there because she didn't answer her name. She just starts speaking to him. And Guruji starts moving his hand on the right, and she don't see this. She's just like kind of looking at Guruji. She's looking not really to his eyes. She's looking somewhere else and talking. And in the moment Guruji materialized the ring, like in the moment that I can see shining, I'm behind Guruji. And in the moment it shines his hand, the person who was talking to Guruji that didn't realize the ring coming starts shaking and moving. And like Guruji didn't even move. He just stayed there waiting. And this person started shaking her whole body. A friend of her jumped on her to hold her. This Mataji, she falls on her knees and bows immediately on Guruji's feet and start crying and crying and crying and crying. And then she tries to stand up and she starts shaking again. And then she keeps crying for around 40 seconds, 1 minute. And then she stops and she looks with a very relaxed face and says, "I'm okay. I'm okay." And I don't remember in which point Guruji gave her the ring, but actually the ring was on her finger, so I don't remember if it was at the beginning or at the end, but she got the ring and went and sit with a friend there. Guruji didn't feel like at all like stressed about the situation or anything. He turns back, comes inside, and tells me, "Is the food ready?" And I was still shocked. I said, yeah, of course. And I ran up and we put all the table. So for him, didn't look like really a big issue. He just went there, he did his job, he came back in, let's go to eat. And let's watch a movie. And yeah, and I think this shows this beauty, of the Lord Krishna, the Guru incarnated, who comes, they allows you for a while to play around. They allow you to maybe for a big around. You incarnate many times, you experience many things, but at some point, they come back to your life. And then you have this decision to do. I entangle again in all of this material attachment, in the world, in worldly, silly things, or I actually, like put my hands up and say, let's go to work. And we allowed him to work on us. And as the verse says, something changed on me. Is he inside of me? And I think this is something that sooner or later we all experience. How things happen in your life with your actions or circumstances that shows you that he's there. And yeah, so coming back to the verse of the Gita, the first part of the spiritual path is detachment from this reality, experiencing finally happiness when you are detached from the sense pleasures. And then the second part, that is when I think the Guru comes and he allows us to attach to them, to God, to Krishna. He brings us to their feet. Okay, well, one night we were eating. We already finished eating. It was late. I think like 12 in the night, and Guruji is painting. We are just at the phone, listening some bhajans, like typical after dinner situation with Guruji. Like he's normally painting, and then we are just doing whatever else. And then, that night for some reason he put us all to paint. So basically, because he keeps saying, when he said many times, I'm not inspiring you enough, because he's showing us what we should do. And we are like, yeah, no, I need to check my phone. I have work 12 in the night. And so he put everybody there to paint. So we're painting on the table. And suddenly we hear voices outside. It was late. I don't remember, 12, 1 a.m. And Guruji says, who is there? So I go out to the balcony and I sit down. And there is many devotees from one specific country. And I say, what's going on from the balcony? And then one of the devotees tell me, you think Guruji could exorcise her? And they point at someone on the exorcise her. I said, yeah. We think she's possessed or something, because for no reason she's acting very weird. She's super violent. She's like not recognizing us. I say, okay, well, it's an exorcism, maybe something else. I don't know, but yeah, for sure we need to ask Guruji. And so we tell to Guruji, and he's in shorts. And he say, oh man, okay. So okay. He puts, I think, a dot or something, and he comes out. And like, he gave to someone, what did he ask for? A couple of water or something? Sairam? Yeah, in India, like a few weeks before, he was in the Samadhi of Raghavendra Swami, and they give him dust or earth from the Samadhi place from him. Yeah. Once a year, they pull this dust up, and they give to Guruji on this pilgrimage. So basically, he just came out. I think he spoke with them. He gave them this. And then he came back in, like, continue painting. Like nothing happened. And then actually, this person, it continued that. And in the end, everything went well. And she came back to her country. But what's funny, like the change of Guruji, how these situations actually doesn't affect him. It's just like, okay, we need to work now. He goes out, he does what he needs to do. He come back in, he continue painting. And in kind of in the same line of him just, what caught my attention on this point is how he's 24/7 ready to serve. When someone knocks his door, he's normally always available. And this another story is from a friend. He's called Axel, and he has some issues with his health, autoimmune disease that is attacking his stomach. So he's the friend of a friend, and he wrote to me saying, you are with this guru, I heard he's making miracles. Could you please ask him to help me? So this was like 6 months ago. And I told him, okay, I will ask Guruji. So I asked. Guruji gave him one of his receipts, like boiled onion or something like this, and drink it every day. And then I forgot. Guruji forgot. The guy forgot. At some point, we all forgot about each another. 6 months later, in Mauritius, one night, randomly, Guruji seated there on the bed and asked me, how is Axel? And I say, who? And he said, your friend, how is he? And then I remember, yeah, Axel. And I check, and he asked me to show him again the picture of him. Okay. I show him. I found it very weird. I go to sleep. And next day, I wake up with a message from Axel saying like, hey, bro, how are you? Actually, I did what your guru says for a long time. And yesterday, the pain came back. And I was thinking of him, and if you could ask him, what should I do? Should I continue? I said, like, yeah, bro, just continue whatever he told you. Sing Shivita Ligiridari and continue doing the guru she received for healing. So it's, I don't know, like what shocks me on Guruji is like, he don't know the guy. I mean, he don't know him. No, one picture 6 months ago. And for no reason, 6 months later, he asked me about this person. And it's exactly the day that this person is thinking on Guruji. Because, I mean, because he has pain. Hopefully, at some day, we'll be thinking on Guruji out of love and not need. Yeah. Yeah. It's enough, Vrindavandas, enough stories. Another day, I share more. Yeah. So for today, just this. Thank you very much, Jai Gurudev.